I want to share some paranormal information with those across the internet, those who know that these type of things exist, but are not so keen on knowing what they are, where these things come from. And many of you who have been working, throughout your life, you've seen some very strange things. And there is a class in demonology of those entities which we can term as hospital and medical terrors. They are the energetic imprints of death, the imprints of chaos, of violence, the imprints of sickness, sudden diagnoses of illness, deathly ill suddenly, extremely sick and hospitalized suddenly. These are the terrors of the hospital and medical institutions around the world. They are a haven of spiritual activity, not only psych and energetic releases from cognitively disturbed and those whose minds have been wired for destruction and wired for self-destruction, and the people around them that serve as sponges in major organizations. These places, these entities exist. Not only hospitals, any place in public where there's chaos presented, there's confusion presented on a regular basis, in courthouses, in jails. Oh my goodness. I don't know if the camera just picked that up. In places where there are senior citizens, buildings, recreational centers, things that have happened that have caused energetic releases, imprints. They create an indentation in the morphogenetic field where sticky spirits on the other side are able to harness and receive invitation to come and springboard onto the other side, just like in the movie Ghostbusters when you see the ghosts come through the wall. This is how they present from one-dimensional to two-dimensional to three-dimensional, and they're interacting with the inner body. In the outer body, you're sitting in a meeting, your heart is racing, and you're saying, what has happened in this room? Is something going on? Sometimes it'll happen so strongly at major events. You'll be at a baseball game, and you'll be saying to yourself, why is everyone turning their head all at the same time? That was weird. It's because there is a collective imprint possession, sometimes maybe even temporarily, if they may trade off that entity, and the entity may gain access by surrendering its hold upon you. It will gain further access and thoroughfare into other more energetically rich hosts who will host and carry that energy. When you go into a place and you see the babies are crying, they're not stopping. Why are they crying in the first place? What has happened? Why are the children crying? It's because they sometimes are energetically more sensitive to what is occurring than even the adults. The adults have been so numbed because, in realistic terms, can most people just turn around and forget that they're on a job, forget that they're in the middle of church, forget that they're riding and having a conversation with someone and they are trying to make a good impression on this person or that? Or they're in a place that's quiet and they're uncomfortable? How do I make myself comfortable? This is what we teach children. We teach children to resist and to not pay any attention. So they go for the majority of their lives after being educated and stimulated in major educational arenas. They're so desensitized out of what's natural, and they're only looking to remember what they should remember to be able to regurgitate it and receive approval. And you see those people, the doors open wide for those type of personas. But when they realize there's a whole section of their body and of their life that they've kept closed off, it's like they're almost like they're oblivious to the most obvious things. And then you see, what do you see with those individuals that are keen to answer the questions, that are always first to raise their hand, always first to be answered, to be asked to give the answer? You see high rates of sickness, cancer, sudden death, traumatic incidents with these individuals, life altering, life changing incidents. Now, what we have to know is that those individuals really do think that they're doing the right thing, because all of society has give them the cue cards to say, yes, that is the right answer. And yes, you do win the prize. And by them winning the prize, it takes them farther and farther away from their destiny, because you have these spiritually possessed entities, hosts, these people directing the destiny of others in the same organized society. So this is where the deals come from, the spiritual deals. Why a hospital terror or some type of energetic force that comes from the other side would trade off and let a person go and say, I must go to destroy further uh, through the genes and through the technology of which this individual is walking in. I need to walk into the rooms where they're in so that I can terrorize and break through and then become and see who's going to serve as a host and carrier for this energetic wickedness as we move through the globe and taking authority over all that we have seen and known before us. All of it, if we were able to measure and add up all the crazy people, all the sickness and death, all the trauma, all the bullets we've dodged, all the people who should have been dead, that by virtue of modern medicine or science or proximity to wealth, these people end up living on. There is a destiny that must be fulfilled, so it will continue to chase them to take their life. And are these people aware of this? Many of them are not. We are a living activation as we move in. So as I move into a place, something happens because I'm there. Something happens because you are there. Even if we think we're getting signed off or that we're receiving approval through this process, we have to understand there's a spiritual governance beyond this. And that's what Psychic Underlord is all about: receiving properly placed authorities that have been recognized in the heavenly realm as legitimate and superior. And this is why you have to have full strength, full power, full dominion, or else the word is not true. So the process in the game of strengthening through the fight, everyone in the Bible had a fight. Even the man that walked on water, he had to fight to believe what he was even seeing from the Creator himself. And then all of these generations after that, all the wonderful lives that have been lived, all the people who have died in the faith, but before time, there was a different law that they may reincarnate it. We're living in the generation of the eternal life. That cannot be on a mainstream platform, because it wouldn't be acceptable. They would shut down the whole page if you said something like that. You can't possibly tell someone that they could live forever. But if I had the ritual for it, all you would have to do is live day after day. And in the meantime, working out all of the different terroristic attacks that come through this energetic matrix surrounding us. And we've gotten so close in proximity and so familiar with these terrors. And in the stress and anxiety, the medication only covers what's there. So it anesthetizes you instead of it. My rituals go after it. That's the difference. Because there's a different destiny plan for your insides. And that may not consist of you carrying copious amounts of drugs and medication to remain sane, to remain functional day after day, the way that you're living, the way that you want to live, who you're trying to impress, what you're trying to walk out. As you receive your assignments, then you receive all the different tangential directions and orders that come along with the assignments that may be flexible enough that you feel that you don't know which way to go until you allow 100% for you to go one direction. So transferring over to the new website is not going to alter the quality of rituals that we're receiving. All of the laws and all of the things that have been put in place over there are only going to become more potent and more pointed through our website at psychicunderlord.com and psychicunderlord.shop. You have to also allow people to grow spiritually. And I believe through this new website, that's not going to be my assignment. To teach is not my assignment. My assignment with this new transition is to do, to apply, and to continuously offer more and more and more opportunities for people to self correct their situation based upon their awareness. And I can tell who's moving through the maze based upon which rituals that they are pursuing. We will have the 1 year ritual extensions as usual. We will have moderate pricing. By taking down so many rituals, it's like all the different stair steps that have been placed there by the divine and by people who have the power to sign off have diminished the stair steps that were put there from the divine. So I've been essentially removed from something that was so comfortable and so believable where I can say, oh, I'll just be here. That's not the case. I've been reassigned to a brand new website, psychicunderlord.com and psychicunderlord.shop. And this is where I'm going to really let it rip because these rituals, I can remember seeing how I had to kind of moderate, how to go, don't go against the grain, because I remember when I first started, everything on Etsy was so demonic that everything was about a witch or demon. And then I was like the odd person out, and people were saying, well, are you really a Christian? Do you really believe in God? Do you really believe in Jesus? And I was considered really an oddball 2 years ago. Now you have so many people who have stood up and who have become believers. They're going to come over to the new website and they're going to get what really is meant for them. The rituals that they missed, that they did not see. Those are the things, and they're going to go and see, okay, I missed that one. Well, I'm going to get it here. Because you were basically starved. You were starved out of your rituals. The way that they were conducting business, having to remove, I remember, you know, when I was offered to do the sell your soul to Jesus, then I had to do a sell your soul to Satan. And I had to break people out of it because I had to give people the pathway of what they were really looking for, that the luxury, the glamour, the opportunity is in the Christed. And all these demonic places that they have, um, I just don't believe anything that they're doing. Unless those people are truly, truly sick, I just can't understand how they can even sustain. But because they sustained, it made a forum and a place for us to exist in the first place, for us to meet. Now that we're on our own site, where you do your own wish list, you do your own carts, you put your orders together, all these different taxations and crazy stuff that they were doing on there. I'm saying they're making all this money off all these people. Um, you can barely even clear enough because the fees are just as much as all the sales. It's a complete and utter sham. And when you look at the people that you're selling $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 items that are not even along with policy, something to me is saying that they're going to let them keep it up because that's a big bag that they get if somebody is dumb enough to click on that. That's not right. So either ways, I'm going to leave it here and we'll talk soon. Bye bye.